Hey guys, welcome back. This is Patrick Robertson with Momentous Building, and today we got a special treat for you. We're going to talk about why does the experience in your construction project matter. Now, as always, please give us a like, share, and subscribe. All those fun things to help spread the message of what we're trying to get out here. We're really trying to provide some value to homeowners and people in the industry to help raise it up and get everyone better and hopefully make sure owners get the right experience during their project. So let's dive right in. So the construction experience, you might be wondering, like, what is the construction experience? Like, I pay the contractor, they're going to do the work, they're going to build my kitchen, put an addition on my house, what have you. The construction experience is what gets you from point A to the point B. It's actually much deeper than the product itself or the end goal, maybe that bathroom or that kitchen, the addition, that playroom. It's the first memory and the first feeling you get when you think about the finished product. It's the journey to the end, and that's what matters so much, is the journey itself. So what some of the factors that go into the construction experience is the customer service of how the contractor deals and the other parties deal with the client, down to the job site. How is the job site maintained? Was the job site clean during the entire process? Was the home disturbed? If it's a remodel or addition, was the home disturbed during the construction project? Was there dust going everywhere? Was there unexpected loud noises, guys coming in and out? A lot of chaos, right? Things like that are going to create a lot of negative memories and negative experiences around the construction project. Then we go into billing and kind of change orders and things like that, the actual contract stuff. Were there surprise change orders? There's things hidden in the contract that, was there in writing, but there was never a real conversation about like what was being provided, what wasn't. There was a lot of ambiguity going around, and then sadly you were stuck with a bill, right? That's a negative experience that just kind of looms over everything. And then we kind of go into, bad plays in terms of, oh, this wasn't included. Those contract things, those get ugly, and at the end of the project, what we see sometimes is the contractor's like throws all these extra change orders at the end and it's like, oh yeah, by the way, your $100,000 kitchen is actually 135 because of you went with this, that. We had this one conversation on that Tuesday 3 months ago. So, and it's not documented, all these different things, and then there's this battle, and it really ruins the final product. So those are two areas that are definitely, problematic. And then there's also finally the working relationship. How was it actually working with the contractor that delivered the product? Was it, no communication? Was he just like transactional and didn't really care about the relationship? Or was he or she like acting like a friend and building the project with the idea that they're delivering memories and experiences to you, the homeowner, for the rest of the life? And that's really the most important thing. And what comes out of that is there should be a beautiful relationship. Now that would be an example of a good construction experience. So as you can see, they kind of play a role in how this all goes together. Now, as you might see, that this all plays into why it's so important to have a good construction experience. It's like when you go to a restaurant. Here's an example. You go to a restaurant, they have a beautiful steak dinner, the food is really, really good, but it took 10 minutes to get your water refilled. The potatoes didn't come to the table because the waiter mistakenly didn't write them down. The wine was the wrong bottle, and these different things. But the food itself was really, really good, but the customer service around it was poor, right? That makes a bad restaurant experience, a bad experience at the restaurant, although the food itself was very good. And that's kind of the memories that play into the restaurant, because you're going to look back and you're like, listen, the food was great, but like I was just thirsty. I wanted a cup of water. And that's why it's so important to have that. Now let me give you an example of what we've seen on other projects and in my experience of working in the industry for 15 years now, which I know I'm young, but I started very young too. I started at 13. So, here's a good example, right? The contractor didn't provide any change orders during the project. It was all through some text messages, some, conversations on the job site, and just like, oh yeah, that's going to be an extra, this and that. There's no dollar values, no this, no that. And over this $800,000 complete gut and finish work, there ended up being an additional $100,000 that the homeowner agreed to, but all in over conversations, through in person over words, maybe some vague text messages giving approval. But the problem was nothing was in writing. So when we look back 6 months on that conversation, when we look back 3 months on that conversation, we don't actually realize what we're getting into, and our logical brain doesn't make the decision, which cements it into us, right? So the contractor might have been like, hey, listen, Mr. X, this is going to be $5,000, blah, blah, but it's going to look beautiful. And the owner's like, yeah, that's great. Like, this is going to be awesome, blah, blah. Didn't really hear about the numbers or anything. And the contractor doesn't follow up with a formal change order. But the contractor still goes forward with the work based off that conversation. What happens is that 6 months later, right, when that $800,000 job that the contractor originally had the contract for, then built an additional $100,000 of change orders, it created a war at the end of the project, right? And then what happened is that the punch list just kept going on because the homeowner felt like they lost something during the job, that they lost work, that they were beaten up, and they were down. So at the end of this project, right, this beautiful $800,000 or $900,000 gut remodel refinish, it was a war at the end. And what happened is the owner doesn't talk to the contractor anymore. The contractor doesn't talk to the owner anymore. And it's been years, and it just hasn't progressed any better. And quite frankly, I think they're on negative terms. So every time the homeowner has a guest over or talks about the project and someone brings it up, they immediately go towards how the contractor screwed them over. And that's their first feeling about the house that they now live in. It's beautiful, everything is perfect, but the contractor screwed them over. And that's their first feeling. And that's what we're trying to avoid here, and why the customer experience in a construction project is so vitally important, because that's the feeling we want to avoid. So what does a good construction experience look like, and how all these things line up, right? We talked about all this negative stuff that can happen, but that's not how we want to leave you guys here today. We want to talk about how the construction experience can be great. And now we're talking to a lot of the homeowners here, and sometimes it gets in the middle of the project, and how do you deal with it, right? So this is what we have to do. We have to really stick to our guns as both contractors and clients to make sure that there's no lackadaisical processes in place that happen throughout the project. So what does that mean, right? Well, yeah, change orders are supposed to be in writing and signed off before the work is done. But we had this conversation, and you said it was okay, blah, blah. So we moved forward. We want to avoid that. Every single change order, whether it's for $500, $5,000, or $50,000, should be in writing, signed off on. That's a great example how things go from a great experience to a negative experience. As a homeowner, you should have clear communications with the contractor how you guys are going to communicate, whether it's through text message, email, or phone calls, whatever it may be. There should be a clear system in place so that way you guys can communicate, and along with that, how frequently you guys are going to communicate, and an open dialogue. Say, hey, listen, contractor X, you only follow up with me every 48 hours, and I just want to hear back, at least, within the same day, or like, what can we do? Having that open dialogue is going to help communicate and increase that communication deficiency that might be coming up to enhance that construction experience before it goes downhill. And then same thing with the invoices and the billing. They should all be in writing. They should be well detailed and documented. And if we do things right, what does this all look like? We're going to come back to the relationship. If you have a good construction experience, you're actually going to build a relationship through the project that is one that's going to last a lifetime with your contractor. That's what a good construction experience looks like. It's very, very easy to get that final project for the contractor, to give him the beautiful quality and all these different things. But remember, the construction experience is going to be your first feeling and memory when you walk in that front door and you see your new finished construction project. So, guys, I really hope this helped bring some value to why the construction experience on your project is so important, and then also some of the typical things that can go wrong so that you can avoid them as the client and really trust the contractor to make sure that this doesn't go downhill fast. As always, please give us a like and a subscribe. We're really trying to grow this message and get out there. We greatly appreciate your help in that, and we will catch you on the next one.